you. All right, well, listen, my name is Jerry Flavin, and I work for the Small Business Administration. I'm the Assistant Administrator in the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. And the mayor's right. He's been to Washington twice in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks or so. I met him maybe 6 weeks ago at a White House briefing. And sure enough, we were describing some of the programs that SBA has to offer. And the mayor came up afterwards and said, I would like you to come down to Riviera Beach and present the same information to my constituents. Well, I'm here today, and I'm delighted to be here. So thanks very much for the invitation. What we're going to do today is provide a similar overview to the one that we provided when the mayor was back in Washington about 6 weeks ago. We're going to talk about the 3 C's, and those are our primary and principal programs that we have at SBA. And that has to do with counseling and training. That's the first C, counseling. And I actually have 2 colleagues with me here today. And I've got Tom here. Tom Gelman is with the SBA here in South Florida, and he's going to spend some time talking about contracting. And then we've got Phil Scruton, who is with the Small Business Development Center in Boca Raton, and he's going to talk a bit about training and counseling. So they're going to come up in just a moment. But what I'd like to do in the next minute, perhaps, a minute, maybe 2 minutes, is describe something about what goes on at SBA, and particularly what goes on with the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. SBA is, oh wait, I should move my slides, sorry. The mission of SBA is all about helping for-profit, that's very important, for-profit small businesses get started and grow and succeed. Now that for-profit qualifier really makes my job interesting because at the end of the day, my constituents are all nonprofits. They're faith-based organizations or they're secular nonprofits, neighborhood organizations. So what do? The first thing you do is work with those organizations to build awareness of SBA's programs. Now I've been at SBA for about 2 years now, and over that time I've come to realize that we really do have some amazing programs at SBA. I think our programs can transform neighborhoods and change lives. But my experience also tells me that many people who could benefit from these programs have no idea they exist. So that's the first priority, is to get out with faith-based and neighborhood organizations and work on building awareness. And it turns out that faith-based neighborhood organizations really are great partners in this awareness building because they know their neighborhoods. They know the needs, they know the concerns, they know the personalities, and quite importantly, they also have credibility with their congregants and their neighbors. So they are really great partners to get the awareness out into the market. There are, and this is just kind of a one-off that I throw out there in the event that we have some faith-based or neighborhood organizations here that might be thinking about opening up for-profit businesses. To the extent that faith-based or neighborhood organizations, and we see this particularly in the faith-based space today, a lot of faith-based organizations are starting to open up coffee shops or bookstores or after-school centers and so on. To the extent that those are truly for-profit, those businesses would be eligible, even though the parent, if you will, would be a nonprofit. To the extent that these are set up as for-profit operations, they would be eligible to participate in SBA's programs. Now, there are a couple of programs at SBA that actually is interesting. Although all I said, we're all about helping for-profit businesses get started, grow, and succeed, we have a couple of programs that we actually must, by statute, work through nonprofit organizations. We're going to talk about those when I get to the access to capital section, which is the second C. I started telling you about the 3 C's initially. The first one is counseling, second one is access to capital, and the third one is government contracting. And I've got some experts in both of those areas with me here today. At this point, what I'd like to do is hand it over to Phil Scruton, and Phil is going to tell us about some of the great resources that are available today at little or no cost in terms of training and counseling from SBA and our resource partners, SCORE, Women's Business Centers, and Small Business Development Centers. Phil, take it away.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here this afternoon. One of the greatest parts of my job is actually meeting with the people who start, sustain, and grow small businesses. And just to increase the drama here a little bit, I don't know if my colleagues are going to share with you the phone numbers, their office phone numbers, so that you can actually go to those offices and speak to them, but I'm going to share mine with you. For those of you that have phones, if you want to have phones and pens to write the number down. If you want to talk about starting a business, building a business that already exists, if you're just kicking around ideas and you want someone to brainstorm with, if you want to learn something about accounting, something about marketing, something about loans. We're going to talk quite a bit about that today, but when it comes time to actually explore whether you might qualify, my colleagues and I are the people to talk to. And let me back up my promise. My phone on my desk is 561-862-4785. And I hope to hear from every one of you. And that's an honest commitment. At the Small Business Development Center, which is funded about half by the Federal Small Business Administration and about half by Palm Beach State College, where we're hosted, we offer free, let me emphasize, free counseling on every aspect of small business operation. We also have a unit attached to the Small Business Development Center called the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which deals solely with government contracting opportunities. Sometimes those opportunities are federal, sometimes they're state. We have a particularly close arrangement with Palm Beach County through the Office of Small Business Assistance. They actually contribute to our funding. We also deal with municipal contracts, taxing districts, boards, you name it. These people live to help you obtain government contracts. And as you may know, the government buys just about everything. And they pay reliably, which isn't true of everybody in this economy. I know that as I speak to small business owners today, that you're not in the easiest of places. And I can't promise you that if you come to my office or the offices of my colleagues, that you'll walk out with a bag of money to use in your small businesses. But if you can qualify for a loan, we're going to find that loan for you. And very often that loan will come courtesy of a Small Business Administration loan guarantee, which of course are offered to banks who are willing to make loans to small business. And I don't think I'm letting the cat out of the bag to note that not all banks are making capital available to small businesses with equal enthusiasm. But those that are interested in lending are the people that we talk to every day. It's also important to us that if you come to our offices with a small business idea, or you attend one of our classes, and our classes are also free, we will probably, we're in the midst of kind of a reorganization at Palm Beach State College. And our classes, which again are always free, will start up again in November, so keep your eyes out. We want to make sure that when you leave our office, if you haven't gotten what you've come for, which is very often capital to start or grow your business, we want to make sure that you have a plan B and a plan C. Because at my office, we revere entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are, you know, a lot of people talk about entrepreneurship, and I'm not always sure when I hear people talk about it if they really understand what it is. For us, an entrepreneur is someone who, well, simply can't work for other people. They're just not comfortable doing it. They don't like to take orders, unless those are purchase orders. They don't like to share decision-making. They very, very often think that they know a better way to do things than their bosses do them. And we're in love with those people. And here's what I noticed about entrepreneurs. They can come to my office, say they want $25,000, $30,000 to start a business. I can say to myself, man, this is a great opportunity. Not just for the small business owner, but for the community that he or she lives in. But I may not be able to facilitate a loan. That may be the case. And when I offer my plan B and my plan C, it may be well received and may not be well received. But an entrepreneur is someone who shakes my hand on the way out and says, you know what? Even though I don't feel like I really got what I came for when I came here, I'm going to be back in your office in 6 months, and I'll have started my business. And you can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. These are people that, they're forces of nature. I think people who succeed in small business are irresistible forces. And they're the people we admire, and they're the people that we serve as best we can. So let me encourage you to call my number. Don't hesitate. You can call the executive secretary if you want, but she'll just send you to me. Or my colleague Ted Kramer, or Bob Kelty, who's an excellent business plan writer. Or our newest colleague, her name is Sharon Geltner. She specializes in something that people who have blonde hair, like I do, don't necessarily understand. Website optimization. Does that ring a bell with anyone? Me neither. But she knows all about it. And it involves an aspect of marketing that is crucial to small business. She has convinced me. I'm a true believer now. It means that your website is linked to social media. It means that it's written and maintained in such a way that if someone Googles a service in Palm Beach County which you provide, your name comes up high on the list of addresses that they can go to, website addresses. She's a professional publicist. And I don't want to oversing her praises, although she's very, very good, but she is the newest addition to our office, and I think for us, we're three old white guys. That's what we are. And we feel like now our office is able to offer cutting-edge marketing advice, stuff that works, stuff that's proven, and marketing that isn't necessarily expensive. Entrepreneurs will find a way to get things done. And the fact that you're in small business and the fact that you're here today suggests to me that you're entrepreneurs. So we really look forward to meeting with you. I brought some material on the Small Business Development Center. It's around, I guess. There's some folders. But all of you have my number, 561-862-4785. 561-862-4785. And I come into work every morning hoping to hear from people like you, so I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.
One of the things I want to ask you and maybe highlight a little bit more, what's successful to most small businesses is to have a business plan, a market plan.
I could not agree more. Now, there are various types of business plans. The sort of business plan that one composes to take to a banker in hopes of getting a loan is a little bit different from the business plan that a person will write to find investors, from individual investors to investors from angel consortiums, to the sort of business plan that one writes when one can self-finance, can get things going, with the money they have in their pockets, and needs a plan for going forward. I'll tell you, here's some free advice. Essentially, you budget, you have a marketing plan, and you put together a set of projections which say, in effect, if I implement my marketing plan, this is what I expect my gross profit to be, this is what I expect my operating expenses to be, this is when I expect to be profitable. That exercise is easy for me to sit here and describe in a few words, but it's not always an easy exercise to go through. And one of the things that we'll do at the Small Business Development Center, any of us, we also have, by the way, probably the best business plan writer in the county in Bob Kelty. We will help you formulate your business plan. We won't always agree with the way you propose to go about things. And we'll tell you when we don't agree. We aren't always right by any means, but we'll make sure that when you leave, you have a sense of what business planning is all about and how it benefits you. It disturbs me when people come in and say to me, someone told me I ought to write a business plan, so I guess that's why I'm here. Well, the people that received that information, the people that did the informing, didn't tell them what a business plan is. What a business plan is a formula for succeeding, for becoming profitable, for making your small business sufficient revenue generator to support your families, to send your kids to college, that sort of thing. And there are people on earth who can simply pull it out of their heads every day, but most people can't. And business plans, which are living documents, they change every day, because those of you in small business know that circumstances change every day. You wake up thinking it's going to be one way, and it's another. Now, of course, as entrepreneurs, you roll with that. But accommodating that change and actually finding ways to profit from it very often is a function of a good business plan. And I'm glad you asked, because that's something that we take great pride in helping people put together.
And it's free.
And it is free. And my number is 561-862-4785.
in